We are back with you now on Wave Listens Live. We've got an important segment to get to now. We have got Warren Wealth Management here. Marcus Warren is joining us, back with us now, as you do on Wealth Management Wednesdays here. You're a tax and financial planner, so you have been busy. Look, we're past April 15th finally.
Yeah, you know,
your world doesn't slow down, though.
No, it doesn't. You know, you have, you know, it starts off, tax season starts off with a bang, a lot of people filing. Then in the middle, there's a lull. And then, of course, all the procrastinators come out, you know, the last week of tax season, and then people file extensions, so there's always, it never stops. The work never stops, Brian.
Well, one of the reasons that you are such a big benefit to have here for our viewers is you have all of these resources and areas that you're able to specialize in. Right. We've talked about retirement a lot, and there's an upcoming workshop that we want to let people know about.
Yeah, so towards, I guess, you know, we want to stay ahead of the game. So towards the end of May 22nd and May 23rd, we are going to have a taxes in retirement workshop. It's at the University of Louisville Shelby campus at 11 a.m. Seating is limited, but you know, we basically sit down and we talk, you know, everything retirement. In addition to that, we answer people's questions about taxation, about how the retirement is taxed, how their Social Security is taxed, and a lot of people don't understand how their Social Security can be taxed. And so we answer questions. It's a real good learning experience for the attendees.
For people that haven't seen you on our show before, you always provide all this information, especially for retirees, because there are a lot of areas there that people may have no idea about. You, they think you work my whole life, I get to this point, and now I'm at the next phase. But there's a lot that comes with that on the tax side.
Yeah, there is. I mean, you know, because people are taxed pretty much along the way while they're working. They work for that company, taxes are being taken out of their paycheck, and then once they retire, you know, they stop working, but the tax man doesn't stop working.
Never does.
They're still going to take their taxes out. Whether you get a pension, they're going to take the taxes. When you start taking money from your company retirement plans, they're going to take taxes. And then potentially they're going to take taxes from your Social Security. So a lot of people still have to realize, especially retirees, have to realize that one of the biggest expenses that they will have in retirement will be taxes.
Okay, well, that's why it's important to come out to that workshop. Again, May 22nd and May 23rd, limited seating. Here's the info again one more time. University of Louisville Shelby campus, starting at 11 a.m. Want to make sure that you have that on your calendars. As we go forward throughout this segment, I want to talk a bit about your book as well, the Retirement Playbook. In the book, you compare retirement planning to mountain climbing.
That's right.
We've got to have you explain that one.
Yeah, so, you know, when we think about mountain climbing, and in the book, hey, it's right there on the screen. There you go. You can get it at Amazon, people. So in the book, I talk about, of course, retirement planning, but then I also talk about mountain climbing, and I basically call this the Everest effect. I call the phenomenon, whatever you want to call it, the Everest effect. So what most people think about mountain climbing is that the sole goal is to get to the top of that mountain. And that is not the only goal. The goal is to one of the goals is to get to the top of the mountain, but more importantly is to get back down safely.
Yes.
And when you think about retirement planning, same correlation. The goal is to accumulate as much money as possible, get to the top of the mountain, if you will. But then you make that transition to retirement, and you want to have a safe retirement on the way down. But what I found out with mountain climbing and Mount Everest is that 80 to 90% of the accidents, that they don't happen on the way up. They happen on the way down. And that's basically what we see with retirement planning. When you're going up the mountain, you're generally fine. But when you make that transition and you start to go down, that is when the mistakes are made.
It's so interesting because if you think about it, as we're looking at the graphic here, maybe that's not the way our brains work. You think the most difficult part is getting to the top, but maybe you're not planning then for the decline, which is all right, where we talk about the accumulation phase versus the distribution phase, because this is another area that people, again, you might not be thinking about this top of mind as you go throughout your life working.
Yeah, and when you think about the accumulation phase, so the accumulation phase is you get your first career job.
You've prepped for this your whole life through school.
Yep, and you finally get that job, and you get that company retirement plan. plan, right? And you're accumulating that nest egg. You're putting money into your retirement plan.
Climbing the mountain.
Yes, climbing the mountain. Every paycheck, right? You're getting that paycheck from the employer. You're in that accumulation phase. You get that paycheck from the employer. You're putting money in your retirement plan. You're concerned about the return on your investment. You want to make as much money as possible. You want to get the biggest returns you can while you're in that accumulation phase. You have the stock market, and the stock market is always going to do what it does. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. However, when you're in that accumulation phase, on the climb up that mountain, when the market is down, that's a good thing. Why? Because you're putting money in and you're in essence buying low. You're dollar cost averaging your way into the market. So when the market is doing what it's doing, it's fine because you're climbing up that mountain in that accumulation phase. Now, once you make it to the top, just like I said, the goal of mountain climbing is to not just make it to the top, but also make it back down. So you've accumulated all of your nest egg. Your nest egg is there. You're making the transition from working to retirement. Now the goal is to make it back down that proverbial retirement mountain down safely. And that's where a lot of the pitfalls start to happen.
Okay. Let's talk about skill sets here, because is there a different one required for advisors who manage that accumulation phase we were talking about, the phase, or the distribution phase? Is that a different set of skills altogether?
Yeah, I think so, because in that accumulation phase, you know, I would dare to say that while you're building up that nest egg, you know, as long as you're putting money in your company retirement plan into low-cost index funds, I would dare to say you may not even need an advisor, right? You just put it in over time. You know, the market doesn't move in a straight line, but it does move up and to the right. It does move up. And so, you know, unless you're a high-income earner that needs extra guidance, you might not even need an advisor during that accumulation phase. Now, when you hit that distribution phase, when you make that transition from accumulation to distribution, a lot of things change. Number one, in the accumulation phase, you were getting that paycheck from that employer. The distribution phase, it's gone. Now you are responsible for that income and that paycheck, so to speak. Now you should always still be concerned about the return on your money in retirement. You still want to get a decent rate of return. But you should be more concerned about the return of your money, that the money is there and you actually have it while you're retired. And, of course, the stock market, Brian, is going to do what the stock market always does. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. However, when it is down in that distribution phase, it's a totally different ballgame. Because when the market is down, say the market is down 10% 1 year, and say you're taking out 5% to live off of from your nest egg. In essence, now your portfolio is down 15%.
Yeah.
Market's down 10, you're taking out 5, right? The next year, say the market bounces back and it's up 10, but you still have to take that distribution of 5%, so you're never really catching back up. That's why it's a totally different skill set. So when you make that transition from working or the accumulation phase to the distribution phase and retirement, you need to make sure that you do have someone that can navigate those pitfalls, right? And we just had up on the screen the pitfalls that happen on the way down. When should you take Social Security, right?
There it is again.
There it is. Social Security. Good job, people in the back. All right.
They know. They listen to you.
Yeah, Social Security, right? When to take Social Security. You have health care, you know, Medicare. What if I make too much money, will my Medicare premiums go up? The answer is yes. Of course, when you're pulling money out, are you pulling out enough money? Will you run out of money in retirement? There's inflation risk. There's interest rate risk. There's so many things, and you have to be prepared.
When you think about going through your life and getting to the phase of retirement, the goal, you're talking about the mountain climbing, once you've made it back down, the goal is hopefully you get to relax and you get to enjoy your life. But when you look at the mountain, you see all those pitfalls, you want to have somebody on your side helping you through that, because if the goal of retirement is to relax and you're not trying to be stressed out and working and dealing with all these issues anymore, that's where somebody like you can come in, set the mind at ease, and make sure these things are taken care of.
Yeah, that's where it's important, you know, to have that retirement Sherpa to kind of lead you back down.
There it is.
There you go. You see, I did that.
That was nice.
So you want to have, you know, a guide to, you know, make sure that you avoid a lot of those pitfalls. And when you have someone that can guide you along, that knows about investment income, retirement income, and taxes, it helps.
There's the information right there for Warren Wealth Management. www.warrenwealth.net, the best place to go online. We'll see you out at the workshops. Good to see you as always.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.